Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the Wealth Blockbuster Masterclass. I'm so excited that you're here. Um, Thank you just for joining and, for taking this step for yourself to make a change in your life. That's positive. And I really, I know if you're here, you're at least open to hearing about the connection between wealth and your energy. And so that's what I'm going to be providing for you. I'm going to be talking to you about that exact connection. And I know that you hear a lot about, so a bit of background why I'm doing this. I know you hear a lot about online, especially, and probably throughout your life, because our whole culture is, very saturated in the masculine, very imbalanced, putting the masculine first. And the masculine is um, action, and it's logic and structure and numbers and all of those things. So we're taught to favor those things and almost like that's real and everything else is not real. And the truth, and why that's created a lot of imbalance for us, and why living in that model, especially if you're a woman hasn't created the wealth that you want, is because reality is created through 50% masculine, which is the physical world. I wouldn't call it the real world. I call it the visible physical world. And then the other 50% is through your energy. And the energy world is actually more real because it's the supernatural. It's what creates the physical world. So the energy world gets poo-pooed and no one wants to believe in it sometimes because you can't see it visually. But we see the effects, we know that it's real. And I'm sure that you've had lots of things happen that have proven to you that, wow, my energy matters, because you'll see things show up in your reality, positive or negative, and you'll be able to trace that back to something that was inside of you, something that you believed or something that you could feel first. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, is that 50%, the 50% of reality creation to do with your wealth, that is the feminine, that is the energetic. And notice that they are not unequal. These are equal 50%, 50%. So if you think that you can only make more money by doing and working, that is true, but it's 50% of it. And then the other 50% is what we're going to be covering today. So I hope you're excited. These are some of my best tips that I've been learning through the past 5 years with my work with Energy Queen. So you're getting a lot of distilled information that took me a long time to find, but you're going to get it all at once. And I think that's the beauty of teaching and of our businesses, is that we can actually just elevate others really quickly, when it actually took us a lot of time and struggle to come to understand these things. So that's what we're going to be doing. I recommend, by the way, since everybody's going to be in the replay, I kind of came up with this class really quick. So yeah, I think, it's fine. Everybody's going to be on the replay for this, but I do recommend that you have something to write with. And this can be on a computer or paper, either one, but to really take in and get the most out of this masterclass. Again, it's only 1 hour. It's not a lot, but you're going to need to be able to write something down. Okay, so you can pause the video right now, make sure you have that, and then come back and let's keep going. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over to the class. All right. So here we are. Wealth Blockbuster. Welcome. Learn how to develop the energies that invite, create, and sustain real wealth. And I use these words intentionally because I believe that, energetically, it is sort of like an invitation that you're sending out, because the energy world is limitless, right? Unlike the physical world where you only have certain things, the energy world is literally limitless. So you can actually invite whatever you want at any time, right? And create, that means translating that invitation into the physical, so that you're not just hoping and wishing, but you're actually learning how to translate that into a result and then sustain that result. Because I believe that we're going to get into this, but I believe that wealth is more than just getting money one time, because that's happened to me. I've seen that happen to other people. And it's just not a long-term answer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to fix things for good. So let's talk about it. What is wealth to you? You don't have to write this down, but I want you to just think about it. Like, what does that word mean? And maybe it even brings up some things from your childhood, or judgments or fears, or maybe it's a positive word, but just notice, like, what effect does that word have on you and even on your energy? And I like this word because it feels more expansive to me than money, and it feels more rich, and like it has more realness and quality to it. Because money itself is just something that we say has value. So if you find a coin on the street, like, have you ever found pennies on the street and like nobody's even bothering to pick it up? Because it doesn't have inherent value. It's just something else on the street along with all the garbage. But we say it has value, right? And so money is just numbers, paper, coins. In the olden days, we used to trade like sheep, and other things. So it's like these things that we call money, they're so limited and they don't actually have inherent value. And that's why I don't talk about money a lot. I talk about wealth, because I believe that what you really want is the translation of a certain type of energy that's positive inside of you into things like money and things like health and things that make you feel happy in the world and that support you. So it's not about the outside result. It's about the inside result that creates the outside result. And so I want you to think about that. Like, what is wealth to you? Like, what does that word mean? And I also want you to think about, first off, like, how does your definition go bigger than money? Like, how does that word define something that is sort of like a new level for you of living, or, is like about more than just the dollars in your bank account? Like, what is the actual result that you want to see happen in your life? Because I've worked with clients and seen this in actual life, that like you can make a lot of money and it doesn't actually fix the things that you think it'll fix. Like, it doesn't necessarily give you more confidence. It doesn't necessarily make you love your work. It doesn't make you love working with your clients. It doesn't make you prettier. It doesn't make you stronger, more fearless, have better relationships. Like, there are a lot of illusions that we hold around money. So I want you to think about, like, when you think about maybe the money, or, you could use the word wealth, like, that you want to have, what is it that you actually want? Okay. Like, what does that look like? Like, what is it that you actually want that maybe goes bigger than money? And what would the changes in yourself or your life actually look like? So a quick hack for wealth, we're going to get right into it, is to make your goal bigger than money. Exactly that, because money itself is sort of an illusion. I could say, this is actually a bottle of holy water I put in a soap bottle. It's a long story. I had, at church, you can get holy water, and I didn't have a container, but I had a soap bottle anyway. But this is great because it has a pump, so I pump it and I spray it all around. Anyway, but I could say, if our society agreed that holy water was currency, then this would become the new money. And everybody would want to have this. And we would have all kinds of stories and issues around literally this, literally. So what we call money is not inherently anything. It's just like, it could be pens, it could be anything, but we just have all decided it's this one exact thing. And so now that's the thing that we all want. Right. And so just kind of like let yourself detach a little bit from the idea of money and any sort of fears around it, because you can see how silly that is if you had fears around holy water. And that's the exact same thing. Okay, so start to detach yourself from those fears. And a quick hack for wealth is to make your goal bigger than money, to do what we're talking about, to realize, oh, it's not about the coins or the quan, as they say in the movie Jerry Maguire, which is a really good movie. It's about being the person that has those results, and money is one of them. So I want you to think about, like, who would you be? You know, who would you be as the person who has that X amount of dollars that you would love to have right now? Like, how would you actually be different? Okay. And how is that person different than you now? Like, what is the difference? Exactly. And you can think about habits that they might have, lifestyle that they might live, choices that they might be making. How fearless are they? And how in line with your purpose are they? And again, you don't have to write this down yet, but like, I want you to just consider, like, while listening to me, like, what is that exact difference? Because the truth is that this is how we block money. This is one major way that we block money, is we put so much, you know, like, we've put so much on it when it could be literally this. It's so silly, right? I love my holy water. But like, we put so much fear and pressure on it, right? And see, you can see how silly it is with the example of holy water. But I want you to think about the difference between you and the version of you that has the money that you want. And I want you to notice that they do things differently. So I want you to imagine, like, maybe you want $100,000 and you are imagining, like, I would live in a nicer place. I would love to decorate it a certain way. I would love to buy clothes at this particular store, and I would do my hair this way. Okay, like, you've spent some money, got those things. Now what? I want you to think about that. That as that person, what time do you get up in the morning? What work do you do that you love? What do you eat? Do you call your mom? Who are you in a relationship with? How do you talk to yourself? How clean is that beautiful place that you bought? How organized are you? How do you show up online? What's the quality of your work like? How fearless are you? Do you just want to hang out in your place, or do you have a purpose that you want to live? And what are you doing about that? What's your relationship with God like? So you see, we don't just want the money because it's limited. We want more than that. And that's why I use the word wealth. We want a bigger result than just money. And I want you to think seriously about how much money is not going to satisfy what you really want. And I want you to go a step further and think about how a lot of those things you really want don't cost you anything. They are free. It is free to have a schedule that works for you. It is free to have better relationships. It is free to be fearless. It is free to make different choices. You are free, or it is free and you are free to make different choices. It is a choice to live your purpose or not. It's a choice to show up a certain way online. It's a choice to give a certain type of quality of work. It's a choice to have certain habits. It's a choice to be organized. It's a choice to have a clean place around you. It's a choice to eat a certain way. Like, These are all things that you can do now. And what happens with the illusion of this, of what we call money, is that you literally put off all that power that you have in this day, this moment, until someday. And that's why you never get there. Because the secret is, if you will just adjust all those things that you can do right now and that are free for you to do right now to change, which are still results you really want, the irony is you attract the money that will support that person. That person, that version of you is the version of you that makes that kind of money. That version of you is the version of you that thinks with the ideas and actions and does all those things and choices, fearlessness, quality of work, purpose, contributing, showing up a certain way. Like that person is the person who makes that money. So the problem that we often have is we put the money first. We say, I'm going to get the money and then I'm going to become that person. When in fact, it's the opposite. You got to become that person, which doesn't cost you anything. It's just different choices that you're making. And that's the person who gets the money. You see what I mean? So this is something that's available to all of us. And having wealth is definitely more than just money. It's about the entire experience. It's about being the person and having the life that you want, not just a new bank account balance. Because like I told you, I have worked with clients who, one of my clients last year, in 2023, she came to me after making 100K in 6 weeks. She spent it all and she didn't have any change in her life. And she was so like, it messed her up a bunch about her business, about herself, her life, like life in general. She was just so confused because she was so under that illusion that the money would fix everything. And then it didn't. And she was like, what do I do now? Because it's like, can you go back to just living that illusion again, that money is going to fix it again, when in fact you've learned that it doesn't? So it's like she learned the lesson, she just didn't know what to do. So that's when she started working with me, because I was able to help her with getting the things she really wanted, which were the inside changes, and then creating the outside changes. So it's definitely more than just money. And if you're under that illusion right now, I hope that this helps you break free of that sooner, because that is the illusion that will keep you stuck and block you. So, all right, now we're going to start writing. What I want you to do, we're going to have 3 short exercises in this entire masterclass. And exercise 1 is, what are you waiting for money to give you that it can't? So I want you to write down that list. What are you waiting for money to give you that it can't? Right now, what illusion are you under? What are you believing, like it's going to do this and it's going to do that, but it can't do that, even if you got it? And I want you to write down that list, okay? You can pause the video, you can take your time. You don't have to worry about how many things are on the list. It could even be one thing, it could be 100 things, but it's just as long as it's true for you, okay? And I'll share a little bit about how I figured this out. And that's because early on in my business, I was under the illusion that I just need to make money, and everything will change. And I started to realize that, like, even when I made the money, it's like I couldn't make more because I wasn't different on the inside. Like, I noticed that when I was more confident and I showed up online, people were more attracted to my work. But the money that I got didn't give me more confidence. And I kept thinking, oh, well, if I get more money, I'll be able to buy nice things and Instagram, like the cool food I'm eating, and, get better clothes and like get nicer pictures. And so I'll just like look more, I think I actually thought I would be more confident. and then people will react to me the way I want, and, I'll get everything that I want. And then eventually I realized, like, I can make money. I can Instagram myself, like eating nice food. I can look nice in pictures and outfits and hire different photographers. I live in New York, so there's all kinds of different people to work with, which I love. But at a certain point, after going through that enough times, I realized, like, oh, like, it doesn't really change me. Like, I don't get more confident from any of this. And the better way to go about it is to instead work on my confidence, to work on my confidence, even if I have $0. Like, I'm going to work on my confidence and to not put that off. And I learned that if I was willing to show up fearless, confident, provide quality work, work on those things, that's what always made me money. So I was like, wait a second, like, we literally wait for money to do things when, remember, this could be money. Do you think that, well, this is holy water, but do you think that this physical object could give you confidence? Do you think that, this physical object could solve your childhood trauma? Do you think that this is a remote for the air conditioning? Do you think that this could give you self-value and improve your relationship with your mom? No, right? So money is like, it's just it's like something that we use as support, but it's not going to change the things that really matter. And you can change the things that really matter for free. All right. So now how you use this list is, this becomes your list, you guys, of what you need to do to free up your attachment to money. And your attachment and your fear around it and those illusions, that's what's blocking it. Isn't that crazy? That is what's keeping it from coming to you. That's what's keeping clients from coming to you. That's what's keeping you from showing up, and taking action and doing the things that matter. And being confident and attracting people. And I've attracted so many people to my work just because I was confident. I swear, people will send me messages and just be like, oh, I love your confidence. How do I work with you? And I'm like, what? Is that all you want? Like, that's a moneymaker and it's free. And so, I think we use money as a crutch too much. We think that it's going to do all these things and it matters. But remember, it only is, it's a physical result. That's 50%. The other 50% of your life is your energy, and you have control over that. So what you do here is you use this list, and this becomes, you put it on your wall, you put it around you, and that becomes your to-do list. That becomes what you do. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. I want you to do that if you make 100K. I want you to do that if you have negative $200 right now. I want you to do that. It doesn't matter how much money you have. That's your priority, because this will help you to become a wealthy person, because you're becoming the version of you that is wealthy. Makes sense? And your attachment, your fear around money not coming is actually distracting you from being the person that makes it, so that's your list. And if you do that list, I swear you will get results. You will start to see things change. And if I'm ever in a rut or not making money, this is what I do. I look at, like, okay, where am I not doing the things that I really, that the wealthy version of me would do, that I have the ability to do? Where am I slacking on those things? And it's not always easy, especially when, you might feel depressed about not having money, or, things are really tough and you're feeling bad about yourself. But remember, it's always something that you can keep working on, and you don't have to expect yourself to be perfect in one day. You can make really big changes by even doing one thing every day, like a small thing, and just changing, one small thing every day. And that will help you to get more results and encourage you. And then, you'll get the reward of money, and you'll be like, that'll feel really good. And then you're going to realize, like, oh, I have the ability to make money on repeat endlessly because of my ability to choose the way I show up, and choose who I am, and choose to be the person that makes it. All right. So another common wealth block is about your relationship with the masculine. So like we said, or like I said, money is a physical manifestation in the world, which is the masculine realm. And basically, we're going to take a look at your beliefs about masculine energy, because that's where that money result is. It's not in the feminine energy realm. You can feel wealthy, but okay, well, remember, we were going to talk about the translation of that into the masculine. So masculine energy is where money shows up in the physical world. So your relationship with masculine energy is your relationship with money. So let's take a look at your beliefs about masculine energy. This is your relationship with the physical result of money. What I want you to do here is write down 10 of your beliefs about either men or masculine energy, whatever that conjures up for you when you think about it in general. And I want you to write down 10, whether they are positive or negative. So they can be positive, or negative. And just get down 10 things that you just believe right now. And beliefs are not right or wrong. We're just getting information about what's inside of you. Write down 10 of them. Like, what do you believe is true about men? What do you believe is true about masculine energy? And positive or negative, neutral, whatever it is. Just get that insight right now. Okay. And to get the best results, you got to do it. So pause the video, just get that insight into yourself. This is going to help with your the wealth blocks going on. Okay. Pause the video, come back. Okay. All right. So exercise number 2, welcome back, is we're going to take a look at the beliefs that you wrote down. Okay. So as you do, look at them, notice that they originate. These are all from your past, right? These are all from your childhood usually. So weirdly, your relationship to money is your relationship with your dad. Literally, it's your relationship with your brother, with your uncle. Like, who was in your life as a man when you were a child? And what did you believe about them? And as we know, as grown-ups, it's a wild card situation with how people will behave day to day, with their problems, who they are. Now that I have energetic insight, past lives, like, there are all kinds of things going on that aren't about the truth about masculine energy. They're just those people with their issues and what's going on, and whatever's going on in their lives. But as a child, you're just getting introduced to the world, and so you will associate the people around you who are male with the nature of masculine energy. So let's say that your dad wasn't super attentive to you, and the truth was he was just really distracted by his responsibilities, and it wasn't about you. But as a child, you didn't know about responsibilities, and so you assumed, it is me, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve constant attention from the masculine. And so you grow up, and what happens is money shows up for you sometimes, but not all the time. See how that works? So that's a real energetic reality of money. Remember, money is 50% action and hard work, but the other 50% is energy. And so that's going to affect your energy. Money's there, but it's not. It's sort of there, but it's not. But that's your relationship with a male from your childhood. It could be your dad or someone else. So you see how it's so simple, but these things can really affect you. And you don't deserve to experience that trauma over and over, right? So that's why we're talking about these things and breaking them down right now. And what we're going to do is, we're not going to just talk about these things. With my work, I love to make energetic change. So this is one way that you can actually do that. For each one that you wrote down, and this might take a little bit, it probably won't take more than 10 minutes though, to be honest. For each one, if it's negative, you can keep all the positive ones, cool. But if it has any element of negativity or fear, then that belief, I want you to write beneath it or rewrite it, and then do this: 10 reasons why it's potentially not true. Because like I just said, you could have been in a situation where you believed something negative, but the truth was it wasn't true, right? Your dad didn't not love you, he was just distracted. So that's a belief that's actually an illusion that you still believe, and it's affecting your wealth, affecting your money. So what you do is you take the negative belief, and then beneath it you write 10 reasons it's just potentially not true. I know that it can be hard when we actually believe these things, and they're ingrained in us, but that's the work. This is the stretching of your beliefs. And the beauty of this is that when you start thinking up potential reasons why this belief maybe in the grand scheme of things is not actually the truth, look for evidence of how it isn't true or hasn't been true in your life. Even the less you believe that negative belief, the more that negative energy block actually will come out of you. So this is how you can actually start removing wealth blocks physically. And I see energy physically, and this is what happens. If you believe it less, it will rise out of you like a dark shadow. And a lot of these negative energies look like shadows or ghosts, and they will come out of you. And then you don't have that wealth block inside of you. And yes, it will affect your money. So get creative. A common, I did this exercise last night when I was creating this workshop and, or finishing it up. And I started to see like, yeah, a lot of these are really obvious actually, but like you just, unless you take the time to do this work, like you'll just kind of like keep believing the same negative things. I think one of mine was that masculine energy is scary. And I could trace that back to childhood because my older brother was 2 years older than me. And he was scary to me because he would like hit me and, be a crazy kid around me. And I was like this little, angelic infant. And he was in his terrible too. So like that created a lot of fear with me with money because of like, I was just like, this is terrifying. But when I actually wrote down that fear, masculine energy is scary. And I started thinking, okay, well, why is that not true? I started to realize like, oh, like there's all these ways that it actually tries to be there for me. Excuse me. That's a way of releasing energy right there. So you can see, like, even talking about it, I'm probably letting go of even more. So yeah, and actually my brother has been, very supportive of me in ways I didn't expect. So like you can start to see the truth through the illusions when you actually sit down and write down the reality instead of, just sort of letting it hang out in the background affecting you. So when you write down 10 reasons why each negative belief that you have about the masculine is potentially not true, the reason I picked 10 is because it's enough that you're going to start to see like, oh, it's sort of like being a lawyer. Like there's evidence here that this negative belief is not true, right? It's not just me hoping it's not true or affirming it's not true. It's like, it actually is not the truth. And again, when you let go of the belief, you let go of the energy, and your energy becomes clearer of that block, which has been blocking your wealth, right? So you can take some time now to do that. It's up to you if you want to do them all right now or do them after, but even though it's a bit of work, like you're going to get something directly from it. It's not going to be just like an exercise that's fun. It's like you will change your energy and get rid of wealth blocks by doing this. So highly recommend you do that if it's now or later. All right, so let's move on. You can pause the video and do some of that, come back. Negative beliefs are negative energies, like I said. So negative beliefs are the blocks, like that's what they are, you guys. Wealth blocks are negative beliefs about specific things that affect your wealth. And negative beliefs are fears. Oops, sorry, I have a typo there. Which are always ultimately an illusion. Negative beliefs are fears, fear, and they're an illusion. So the wealth blocks are never telling you the truth. The fears about money are never telling you the truth. Whatever it is that's negative that you believe about masculine energy or money, like it's just not the truth. So by believing them less and proving to yourself that they're not true, instead of being in that childhood sort of subconscious place about it that's traumatized, And there is, if you're experiencing blocks with money, then there will be something there, to find. And again, it's not your fault, but it's just there. Then, you're taking yourself out of that subconscious child place to, actually looking at your life that you've lived since then, which is quite a long time, and getting actual evidence that, like, where you have gotten actual evidence that, those things aren't the truth, and life will be showing you the truth all the time. So you'll be able to find, like, oh yeah, masculine energy is not scary because fill in the blank, that one time a guy held the door open for me, or I have a really supportive friend who's a guy. So it can't be true that masculine energy is scary because that guy's a guy and he's supportive, so, like, start looking for those things that are the actual truth. And by proving to yourself they're not true, these blocks to the masculine, aka money, can actually start to be dissolved. So again, this is like real work that will make a difference in your energy. And it's not like sexy or fun maybe, but like it's gonna make a difference. So I think that's what matters. That's why we're here, right? All right, so the next part is about the feminine. And energy is the feminine realm. So we've talked about the masculine and the physical realm, but energy is the feminine realm. So to have a positive relationship with your energy as well, right, as the physical world, and how that attracts good things that you want into your life, it's important to look at your beliefs around the feminine. So we're looking at your beliefs around what is masculine, what do I believe about masculine and the physical world and money, but what do I also believe about the feminine, which can attract the masculine, which can attract the results. And surprise, maybe not a surprise, these beliefs are mainly about your mother, your mom, or it could have been another female caretaker, or maybe a sister or cousin or someone. But what sort of beliefs did your mother or that figure, the way she behaved and treated you, give you about feminine energy? Like, what do you believe about feminine energy because of that, those early relationships with the feminine? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write down 10 beliefs you have about feminine, positive or negative. Just what do you believe about feminine energy? Okay. And then once you do that, I want you to take a look at the beliefs you wrote down, and same thing. Where are they from? Who are they from? And every one that's negative, you need to write down 10 reasons it's potentially not true. So pause the video, do some of that, get your beliefs about the feminine, however many you want. And then for each of the negative ones, 10 reasons it's potentially not true. Okay, so you can pause here, do that. Won't take you long. All right, welcome back. So your wealth results are always going to be a combination, okay, of those two aspects: your actions, masculine energy, and your energy or your feminine energy. Okay. So unlike old myths that it's just hard work that makes money, especially for women, to be receptive to it, it's best to have your energy working for you and attracting it, creating it, along with doing hard work. So I want to explain this a little bit. So basically, as a woman, your energy balances differently. We all are made of feminine and masculine energy. But if you identify as a woman, the way your energy is balanced is by putting your feminine first. And then she will bridge with your masculine. So that looks like your feminine energy is your spirit, and that's your presence. And that's, being present and nurturing, the fact that you're present and alive and enjoying that moment you're in, just really being present, which is why people think feminine energy is about resting and sleeping, but really it's about being present. And then while you're doing that, it could even just be having fun, or dancing. And when you are in that space, you always will get ideas, I find, because your feminine bridges with your masculine, which is doing things and action taking. So you're going to get hits of like, oh, I should email that person, or oh, I should say that, or, oh, this is the offer I need to put out, or oh, like this is, you get all kinds of like action steps by being in your feminine. So that's a really smart way to balance your energy. And I talk about this all the time. And as a man, it's the opposite. You can like, put your schedule first and put your action taking and hard work like first. You can hustle. And that's good for your energy because you put your masculine first, which bridges with your feminine and conjures your ability to relax. So that's why men are always saying stuff like, talking about the grind, and like even in dating, I find a lot of guys are like, I'm not ready for a relationship because I need to get my shit together. That's actually true for them. Like they can't be in their emotional feminine without having their masculine first. So it's not you. It's just that's the way they're wired. And if you're non-binary, my advice is to work when work feels restful and to rest when rest feels productive. So that's how you get a sense of like combining these two parts of yourself. That's good advice for everybody too. But basically, so the world was created in a way that, acts like the physical world is all that exists. And because we can all see that, we all agree on that, and we prioritize that as a society. So society has taught us to all be men in that model of energy. Work first, schedule first, hustle, grind. But for women, that's like the opposite of how you function. So for women to be receptive to money, to be balanced, to, have your energy working for you, creating things, opportunities, and attracting what you want. Having strong feminine energy is crucial. And that's something I help activate with my work, by the way, because I know that a lot of the major wealthy coaches you see out there, they all have strong feminine energy. If they're a woman, they already have it. And so they don't need to work on that. But guess what? We all need it. And so you can't just bypass that and follow all the steps they take if you don't have strong feminine energy. But I find that they don't teach you that. So that's something that's really crucial for you to have, so that you can get, you can get results, be balanced, happy, and have the energy to work at that high level. So that's basically the crux, the majority of the masterclass I have for you. This is sort of just like a teaser into my work, a taster of the type of things I talk about. Basically all this stuff I talk about, I come up with through watching energy, experimenting with energy. It's unique to Energy Queen. Like you won't find these exact things anywhere else. And I think that they're extremely valid and useful. And I wanted to share with you something else because I couldn't honestly, I couldn't not share this part because this is one of the first things that I ever learned about the energy of wealth, when I first moved to New York. And I worked in a jewelry store, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I was selling jewelry to a lot of people with a lot of money. And what I noticed was the more I hung out with those people, the more I started to act different, and I started making more money. And I was like, wait a second, like, again, all of these things that I'm doing are free and they make me money. And then I looked at the people on the street and I was like, if these people did these things, they would make more money. And the reason they don't have money is because they're not doing these things that don't cost you anything. So I thought that would be a really cool thing to give to you guys, since this is a wealth blockbuster, about creating more wealth. So here's my secret. The energy of wealth is also a combination of 5 core energies, like a recipe that you can create and choose no matter how much cash you have. So don't think about how much money you have. Doesn't matter at any time, but you can do these 5 things and that will give you more. All right, let's look at it. So these 5 things are boundaries, empowerment, relaxation, self-value, and discipline, which also I see as feminine masculine balance. I'm going to explain that. So the first one is boundaries. I'll really quickly explain what I mean here. The people that would come in the store, the jewelry store I worked at, I noticed like they had more money than me for sure. Like this is in the Upper East Side of New York. So like there are truly wealthy people there. They would come in, you know, buy gold jewelry. And it was like a French boutique, this you know, this designer from France. And it was a really small little place, but it was her original creations that I was selling. And I was in there alone selling these things to these people. And so I got a really close look at like, how do they think and how do they act? And one thing I noticed is that they had I'm talking very strong boundaries, very strong boundaries. They were usually like open and, you know, kind and, you know, but like had very strong boundaries. And that was just not even a question. It was just like the way things are. Because what boundaries do is they create balance between people. If you don't have wealth, I'm just going to say you probably don't have strong boundaries. And that's not a criticism, but it's something that you need to fix. And that is free for you to fix. If you look at people on the street, do they have strong boundaries? And I'm talking about like with themselves, with other people, with what they will accept or not accept. No, see, that's all diminished. And that's why their wealth is diminished. But they could start, you know, having any kind of boundary. It could even be, I'm not going to sit on that corner. That's not good enough for me. I'm going to sit on this corner. This one's in the sun. You know, like that would start to actually turn their situation around. And I remember I really saw this really strongly with one particular customer who, you know, I was still learning how to sell. So I was not always like good at being smooth about it. And this woman just had a very wealthy energy. She was just looking around the store. And I started talking to her and I was trying to sell something to her. And I could tell she just sensed that I was trying to sell to her and she just walked out. And I was like, wait, did she just leave? Like she didn't even say anything. That's how strong her boundaries were, which created that energy of wealth for her. So do not be afraid to have boundaries. They will always be supporting your wealth. And one thing I always like to say about boundaries is that they're not about other people. They're about you. So it doesn't matter how people react to your boundaries. Like she didn't care how I reacted. It wasn't about me. It was about her. She sensed like, I don't like this energy or I don't want to be around this. So I'm just going to leave, you know? And so when you ever assert your boundaries, then always use I language and just talk about yourself because it's not about them. And you can't control anybody else, but you can control yourself. What am I going to do? And that leads us into empowerment. And I learned this one actually from the woman I was working for because it was her shop. Some days we didn't make great sales. And I was like kind of worried. I was like, how are we going to stay afloat? Some days were great, some days, you know, but it was like hit and miss. I noticed one thing about her because she was able to make the store work. She was a wealthy person. She has a house in the Hamptons and blah, blah, blah. She's married to a famous artist and all this stuff. And her jewelry was featured in all these magazines and worn by celebrities. And so I would just watch how she would handle things. And I noticed that she had this like thing that she would do when things weren't going well. And that thing, you guys, was empowerment. She was in the same situation some of us are in at times where she didn't have the results. But what she had was an attitude of empowerment. Okay, well, then we're going to do this. Okay, then we're going to do that. What can we do? And what can we keep doing until it works? What can we keep doing until it, because it has to happen. So I realized that, oh, like wealthy people don't see a problem and then stop. They see a problem and then say, we're going to try everything possible until we get through this. And that really blew my mind because I was like, that will make a big difference in your life. Because either you're going to say, I'm not going to get what I want, or you're going to say, I'm going to get what I want. And I don't know how I'm going to get it. I'm just going to keep doing things. And that's what empowerment is. So it's the same with you. You could either say, I don't have what I want. I'm just going to sit here, or I don't have what I want, but I'm empowered. And you were empowered limitlessly. Like you could send 1,000 emails to people, you could call 100 people, you could do, there's no limit on your empowerment. That's the way life is set up. So literally ask yourself, like it's a free choice. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's a choice. And maybe you'll ruffle some feathers and people won't like you, but maybe you'll get what you want. And so the people that are wealthy are people who, again, and that can be you, are people who just decide to be empowered. That's it, you know? The next thing I noticed was relaxation. And I would get really stressed about sales. And my boss would text me and say, listen to Deepak Chopra and meditate. Because when I was at home, she understood the importance of relaxing when you're not working. And so relaxation is a big part of wealth. Wealthy people are always relaxing. That's why they buy boats. That's why they're always on vacation. Can you relax right now? Is that going to cost you anything? No. You need to have that in your life then. You need to choose that, even if it's for 5 minutes. Okay. Self-value. This is really, really, really big. I would say this is the cornerstone energy out of all these for wealth. If you do have self-value, you can have money. If you don't have self-value, you will not have money. It's that simple. That's why some people aren't even good people, but have money. Like Donald Trump, for example, I don't think he's a good person. I don't think he is interested in helping anybody but himself. But he has self-value. You can't deny that. And my roommate actually went to one of the trials here in Manhattan. She got to watch it. She knew somebody who worked there. And she said every time a picture of him came up on the screen, he would was shown, he would perk up. It's like he loved himself so much. And I'm not saying he's the greatest example of someone who's wealthy, but I mean, he is known for that to some extent. Also, I have a funny story about this. When I was a bit younger, I hadn't met a lot of millionaires. And there was this one family I used to babysit for who were millionaires. And the mother of that family, I noticed she was an opera singer, and I noticed her do this thing one day, and it was so small, but it really had an effect on me. And that was, I caught her on her way out. She was talking to me, putting on her coat. There was this big mirror in front of her, and she puts on her coat, we're talking, and I noticed her eyes go to the mirror. And when they went to the mirror, they lit up. They lit up like she saw someone she loved. You know how when you see someone you're excited to see, your eye, and you can't make it up. It's like it just happens in your eyeballs. Like you just see it. Her eyes lit up with love, like just in that unconscious moment where she saw herself. And I realized in that moment, like, that's probably one reason you're a millionaire and I'm not, and why lots of people aren't, because of that one thing is self-value. When you value yourself, love yourself, this connects with boundaries. It connects with all of them, empowerment, relaxation. When you have that self-value, and this is something I help support you to do with my one-on-one work, by the way. You will always get more, have more, believe you will receive more, deserve more, price your work at what it deserves. Like it just creates more wealth no matter what. So if you have self-value, if you work at self-value, and again, these are things that you can work on for free that will make you more money, on the energetic side, along with the work you do, like you will start seeing better results. All right. So the last one, discipline. This is feminine and masculine balance, because I see discipline as, the two parts of you working together. Like discipline is doing things, that's the masculine, that support your energy, or support your life, or support your purpose. And so when you choose, like maybe I don't feel like doing this, but I know it's good for me, then that is going to help you have a better life. And that is going to help you have wealth. And that is going to help you, be organized. And, when we talk about wealth and business and all these things that make you money, the truth is, like, it takes a lot of discipline, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Honestly, I think that masculine energy is love, just like feminine energy is love. It's like money can be love, bills can be love. They support you, they both support you. Um, you know, everything around you, your schedule, everything is there just to support you. The truth about the masculine is that it's love. And so if you're disciplined, it means that you trust the masculine. It means that, you know what, I trust that when I engage with you and I, set things up a certain way, that you're going to always help me. And so that is the truth. And I know when you're in places where you don't have what you want, these are the hardest things to do. But like I said, you're not going to do them even if you get money. Just start doing them, start caring about them. And I wish that everybody knew these things. I wish that my ancestors knew these things. I wish that my family knew these things right now, because it's like, these are the things that can change money in your life, your relationship with it, help you understand the truth about it. And so I hope this really helps make a big difference for you. To wrap up, can wealth blocks also be dissolved with EQA? EQA is my work, by the way, Energy Queen Alchemy, which is my ability to see energy. And God gave me the ability to move energy at will, and understand how that works, and actually teach it in my program, Energy School, by the way. But I teach you how to do EQA. But basically, I move a positive frequency into the vicinity of, in contact with the negative frequency, and it dissolves it, because positive and negative can't exist in the same space. So all these spheres are energies, and they can be dissolved, today. And maybe you haven't done all the work yet, but when you do that, you'll help, loosen up and get these energies starting to come out of you, these beliefs, negative beliefs. But also, the truth is, there's so many networks. So yes, absolutely, EQA helps with wealth blocks. I'm going to show you some results that I've created. In fact, if you want to see big results in your ability to make more, I recommend getting numerous networks of these negative beliefs just dissolved quickly, because that can make a gigantic difference in how you feel, think, the ideas you get, and your ability to receive. Because I wanted to give you stuff that you can do on your own, because I think that's valuable and important, and it will make a difference. But I can't lie to you, like, by being someone who works with energy, like, if you have a block in your life in any area, it's not just one area, it's not just one little negative energy, it's a network, and your energy is layered and layered and layered. Your energy body is not like your physical body. It is like almost like infinite layers. So there's going to be so many numerous networks of negative blocks in all these different layers, that it's like you can't even get to the deeper ones until you clear the ones on top. And in my sessions, I cleared thousands. So it's like you can get some results, or you can get like a life change and like not have to deal with them anymore, because they never come back once they're cleared. So I always like to let people know and offer that, because I honestly couldn't do these things the way I do without doing that. Like, I have to do EQA myself every day to get the results I do. And I like being able to do that for other people. That's why I have the business I do. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. These are some new wealth results with EQA I was able to get my clients. This top one is recent. Out of nowhere, one of my energy school students just got a new client. He came to me. Yay. Amazing. She didn't even advertise. She hasn't even gotten to the point where she's advertising her work, and she got a client. So think about how cool that is. You get clear energy, you get the wealth box out of the way and dissolved with EQA, and you can just get things coming to you. That's very real. And that's without advertising. So imagine what you could do with advertising. This other one was another client. She said, by the way, I just had to say, I just booked a reading after I invested, which pays me back over half of what I just invested in you. Happy about it. Feel free to use this story as future posts to bring in clients. And I was like, whoa, because that happened right after I worked with her. And she came to me for help with wealth. So that's a direct result. You can see somebody booked with me, they got some wealth blocks cleared, and she got a client immediately. So that really happened, and that can happen. And again, like we talked about, wealth results are bigger than just money. So the results I get my clients are not just about what I showed you, clients and money. It's about more than that. So this one at the top, by the way, today it hit me that all areas of my life are finally balanced. I've never had this before, like ever. So having that balance in your life, you know, feeling good in every area of your life, like that's a really exciting result to have that I bet you'd like to have along with some more money, right? And I can help you do that. This bottom one says, funny thing is, I have all the details just how I would idealize them. I asked this client actually, how can we get you closer to your ideal life? And this is what she said. She said, funny thing is, I have all the details just how I would idealize them. I have my ideal life at the moment. And this is after we worked together. It's about the change when her daughter, I blocked out her daughter's name, is 18. I have to consider what is bigger than what I have right now and better, because right now is pretty damn sweet. It's like I've been handed things that I wanted. I just manifested them. So again, like that's really real when your energy gets clearer, the 50%, you know, of creation, not just your action, but the energy, you know, like she said in her own words, like, I'm just manifesting, I'm just getting things, I'm just attracting things. So you want your energy to be working for you in terms of wealth, and clearer energy without these wealth blocks is what does that, because you are naturally positive energy. So when you have less negative in the way, all that's left over is positive, which attracts things that make you feel positive, including wealth. So I thought I would end on how it can help you if you're interested in doing that, how you can go deeper for a bigger change. Again, do the work that I suggested. That is like, do it no matter what. That's going to help you a lot. I get my clients to do both. Like, I want you to, you know, uncover your beliefs. I'm always talking to my clients about their beliefs and, you know, understand where these things come from and start to loosen them up, you know, but also getting the actual energies out of the way is so big. And this offers for the attendees of this masterclass only. I'm offering 3 one-on-one EQA sessions to help clear wealth blocks at my intro price, which is just $444 US for 3 sessions. And each session is normally worth $5, $6, $7 US. So it's an incredible deal. Values over 1,700. And I've limited spaces, limited time, 3 spots only for the month of June only. So if you're interested in what I'm talking about and getting some of these results faster and having that up level, honestly, I think this is an amazing price point to be able to do that. And on top of that, I have 3 sign-up bonuses. So first sign up, if you're the first person to message me and say, I want to do this, you will actually get 1 bonus session. So you're going to get 4, which is amazing, worth 5, 6, 7 on its own for only $444, but I'm actually going to give you $50 off. So you're not even going to pay $400 for this incredible value. And then if you're the second person to message me, I'll give you 25 off. And then the third person is going to be getting it for the regular price, which is still an amazing deal. So get in touch now for yours. Make sure you hurry to get your bonus. And I can't wait to help you. And thanks so much for joining. Feel free to let me know how this went for you. And I hope to see you soon at the next Energy Queen class, your sessions, or your event. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful time and learned a lot. And make sure you message me or send me an email, get in touch with me so that I know that you want some of your sessions. And I wish you so much luck in creating all the wealth that you deserve and desire in your life, because you deserve it and you can do it. So I'm somebody who's here to support you with that. And I can't wait to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining the Wealth Blockbuster, you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.